I mean, about prayer in general, you said information and figuring out how to get stronger, healthier, smarter, all those kinds of things. A part of me believes that deeply. You can gain a lot of knowledge and wisdom through learning. But a part of me believes that all the wisdom I need was there when I was 11 and 12 years old.
And then it got cluttered over. Well, listen, I can't wait for you and Conti to talk again, because when he gets going about the subconscious and the amount of this that sits below the surface like an iceberg, and the fact that when we're kids, we're not obscuring a lot of that subconscious as much. And sometimes that can look a little more primitive. Mm-hmm. I mean, the kid that's disappointed will let you know. The kid that's excited will let you know. And you feel that raw exuberance or that raw dismay. And I think that as we grow older, we learn to cover that stuff up. We wear masks, and we have to be functional, right? I don't think we all want to go around just being completely raw. But as you said, as you get older, you get to this point where you kind of go, what are we really trying to protect anyway? Mm-hmm. I mean, I have this theory that, certainly my experience has taught me that a lot of people, but I'll talk about men because that's what I know best, whether or not they show up strong or not, that they're really afraid of being weak. Like they're just afraid, like sometimes the strength is even a way to try and not be weak, right? Which is different than being strong for its own sake. I'm not just talking about physical strength. I'm talking about intellectual strength. I'm talking about money. I'm talking about expressing drive. I've been watching this series a little bit of Chimp Empire.
Oh, yeah.
Netflix. So Chimp Empire is amazing, right? They have the head chimp. He's not the head chimp, but the alpha in the group.
Yep.
And he's getting older. And so what does he do? Every once in a while, he goes on these vigor displays. Mm-hmm. He goes and he grabs branches, he starts breaking them, he starts thrashing them, and he's incredibly strong. They're all kind of like watching. I mean, I immediately think of people like they're deadlifting on Instagram. And I just think displays of vigor. This is just the primate showing that displays of vigor. Now, what's interesting is that he's doing that specifically to say, hey, I still have what it takes to lead this troop. Okay. Then there are the ones that are subordinate to him, but not so far behind.
It seems to be that there's a very clear numerical ranking.
There is.
It's clear who's the number 2, number 3.
Oh yeah.
I mean, probably
who gets to mate first, who gets to eat first. This exists in other animal societies too. But Bob Sapolsky would be a great person to talk about this with, because he knows obviously tremendous amount about it, and I know just the top contour. But so number 2, 3, and 4 males are aware that he's doing these vigor displays, but they're also aware because in primate evolution, they got some extra forebrain too, not as much as us, but they got some. And they're aware that the vigor displays are displays that, because they've done them as well in a different context, might not just be displays of vigor, but might also be an insurance policy against people seeing weakness. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now they start using that prefrontal cortex to do some interesting things. So in primate world, if a male is friendly with another male, wants to affiliate with him, mm-hmm. and say, "Hey, I'm backing you," they'll go over and they'll pick off the little parasites and eat them. The grooming is extremely important. In fact, if they want to ostracize or kill one of the members of their troop, they will just leave it alone. No one will groom it. And then there's actually a really disturbing sequence in that show of then the parasites start to eat away on their skin. They get infections. They have issues. No one will mate with them. They have other issues as well and can potentially die. So the interesting thing is number 2 and 3 start to line up a strategy to groom this guy, mm-hmm. but they are actually thinking about overtaking the entire troop, setting in a new alpha. But the current alpha did that to get where he is. So he knows that they're doing this grooming thing, but might not be sincere about the grooming. So what does he do? He takes the whole troop on a raid to another troop and sees who will fight for him and who won't. This is advanced mm-hmm. contracting of behavior for a species that normally we don't think of as sophisticated as us.